This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. Got a big smile in my face. I was lying in bed and Gab said, I think we can do the interview now. I've gone, fuck it, go on then.
Yeah,
Always
why?
a pleasure to speak to you, brother. First things first, congratulations. And still, I know how
And
much this
still,
meant to you.
yeah.
First reflection?
Do you know what? But I'm still on cloud nine. Like I'm still sharing. People are sending me photos, videos. Like, like Selby. He rang me the next day and he said, "Do you know what, Gav?" He said, "You've always had that performance in you, but you never produced it on the night." And I done just that on Saturday night. I knew I always had a performance like that in me. It's just like I always put pressure on myself to perform, and I think that was it. And so Saturday night, I just went out there and just done what I had to do. Like, do you know what I mean? It was one of them, but I just threw punches.
Let's sort of talk. I was speaking to you and Lee, I think it was, about
Yeah,
sort of he looked like he was going to go any minute, and
yeah,
the gum shield came out.
yeah.
Um, in that moment with the adrenaline, everything running, what's going through your mind? It was so close.
I was. Oh, but do you know what? The referee went, "Show me something, Craig," and I went, like to throw a punch, and I spit the gum shield, and I thought, "Ref, don't jump in. I don't need a gum shield. I'll fight without the gum shield." And he went, "Whoa!" I was like, "Nah." He was just about to go, and I thought, "Ah, nah." But I knew he didn't have much left after that. Like he was hitting me with shots, and there was nothing in him, and he couldn't keep me off him. Like,
What felt different from this fight to the fight previously? I know before you mentioned that you sort of underestimated him a bit,
yeah.
and obviously not everything was right in the build up. Um, what is it this time round? I'll mute my mic the minute I finish my question. This time round that made it feel so different and so special for you.
Um, yeah, probably. I knew it was a lot more on the line, so um, I put everything into camp. Whereas the first camp, I probably did underestimate Craig. Um, and Lee said that to me in the change rooms. He said, "You're fully switched on this time round. Go in there and do what you got to do and do what got you this title. Um, throw lever, be non-stop, be relentless." He said, "You've done hundreds, well, thousands of rounds with me, who was a 10 times better fighter with Craig, and you've given me good rounds." So he said, "It's no reason why you can't do it." And um, there was a big thing that, like, just before my grandpa passed, I was in the hospital, and it was like days before he passed. He said to me, "Gav, you gotta go out there and do a job on him next time." And it was just ringing in my ears. Even on the ring walk, I just like felt him there, like I had a presence. Like it was just, I don't know, it was a surreal feeling, but yeah,
Hey, just hearing that sort of gives me goosebumps a little bit. I know firsthand it's not always been an easy road for you, which is why
no,
I just felt that post fight.
yeah,
To talk a little bit, you mentioned to me off camera, you weren't able to spar for the last couple of weeks of camp. You've been in hospital today, getting your nose
yeah,
dressed. I know you. You don't like to make things of stuff, but I think
no,
credit to you because you're always fighting and things aren't always right. And this is another
yeah,
occasion where you've done it and you flourished.
yeah. Like I every camp without fail something goes wrong for me. It was my hand last time. That was a major thing. This time, a month before, I had a hematoma up my nose. So I left it about a week and a half. Carried on sparring. I was sparring middleweights at the time as well. So they hit a lot harder than lightweights. So I was taking shots on the nose. And it just kept on swelling and swelling. And it got to a point I couldn't breathe. Um, so I decided I didn't even tell him. I didn't even tell my wife. Didn't tell Tony. Yeah, I'm just like,
When you told me
uh,
before when we were chatting, you said you just hadn't told Lee. You didn't tell your wife or Tony.
nah. I had to ring my wife. in the hospital to say I was having an operation. So listen to this. Is this full story? So I went to the hospital and they sent me straight down to the Grange Hospital in Pontypool. It's a new hospital, down a nose specialist place down there. Tried draining it with a needle, got some blood out of my nose, and they said, "Oh, it's congealed. We're gonna have to do an operation on you. I'm gonna have to knock you out." So I was like, "Yeah, you can do the operation, but I'm fighting in 4 weeks. Is that still okay? Otherwise, I'm not on the operation." I was like point blank into it, and she was like, "No, you'll be fine in 2 weeks." She said it should be healed up in 2 weeks as long as you don't take any punches. So I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. Just get the operation done." So
For you, is that a big risk? Obviously, if it don't heal up properly in time as well. I mean, what's
yeah,
going
like
through your mind? Obviously,
it was a massive risk, but it was a big thing because I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe through my nose. So um, an hour before the operation, I hadn't told my wife. I was like, "Oh shit, I'll be alright to drive home after the op." I was like, "Oh no, no," and my wife now is training to be a police officer. She's training to be a detective. So I thought I better. I can't be driving when drugged up. So
you ain't
I
getting away
better.
with nothing, bruv.
No, so I better phone her, and she was like, she was in work at the time, and she was like, you're not allowed to drive. You're physically not allowed to drive. I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. I said I'll leave her an hour and I'll drive home. She was like, you can't drive, Gav, like point blank. So she rushed down. She got there about 4 o'clock. Um, they put me to sleep. Listen to this. So my heart rate was so low. My heart rate was 35, I think it was. The guy who was giving me to put me to sleep, I can remember him saying, "We're gonna have to give him something to raise his heart rate up because when we put him to sleep, his heart rate's gonna go so low, like cause I was so fit, yeah." I can remember him saying this before he's put me to sleep. I was like, "Fuck." Um,
Oh shit.
yeah, so I can remember coming round. This big like tampax on my face or on my nose, like stopping the bleeding because it was all packed out where they cut it open and stitched it back up, and they packed it all back up. And then first thing I said to the nurse, I said, how long before I can train? And she was like, "What?" She didn't know I was a boxer, so I was like, "Oh, how long before I can train?" This was the first thing on my mind. As soon as I woke up, I was like, "I need to train tomorrow. I've had today off. I need to train tomorrow," sort of thing. She was like, "Oh, have a couple of days off." I was like, "I can't have a couple of days off. I'm fighting in 4 weeks."
There. Just
Yeah,
pick
so I was I had the tampons on my face, and the first thing that came to my mind it was like, I need to train. Um, and I asked her this, and she was like, "Well, what you want about? You need to train." Um, and she didn't know I was a boxer, so I was like explaining to her, and she was like, "Oh, you're gonna have to have a couple of days off." I was like, "I can't have a couple of days off. I've had today off. Like, physically can't have a couple of days off. Like, so you know me, I'm a gym rat, so I got
yeah,
to be doing something." So I was like, "Right, I got to go. The first thing I gotta do, I got to go to this hospital." She was like, "You got to eat something. You got to go to the toilet." I said, "I'll go to the toilet now, love." So I got up, went to the toilet, come back, and she was like, "Oh, we got sandwiches." I was like, "I can't have bread, love. I'm off bread." Um, can I have yogurt? I was like, "Yeah, I can have low fat yogurt." So she was like searching for these low fat yogurts for
no
me.
way.
Yeah, so I had a yogurt, a cup of tea, um, and a banana. And she said, "Oh yeah, it's fine." So I rang my wife Louise. She come and picked me up. She was worrying out of her mind. She was like,
I was
"You
gonna
can't
say,
fight."
bro, like when you're that close to your fight, your loved ones are gonna be. But then I suppose also it's a real double-edged sword because it was a Joe Cordina undercard. You were so high up on
Yeah,
the hill. There was no way that you could have pulled out of that fight.
but I would have fought in there without. I would have fought in there one leg.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I was in that frame of mind. Like I would have fought whatever happened to me. I would have fought. Like I was in that frame of mind, and Who's that? I do Chucky's in my missus. She's just gone. She's watching Ollie Mears, and she's just in the CIA, and she just texts me. I'm starving. Chuck some chicken goujons in the air fryer.
I'm so keeping this in the interview.
So it's keeping me on my toes, but bitch.
No rest for the champ, no?
Nah, but she had me cleaning the house and that today, but cleaning the house. She texted me. She said, "Oh, put the washing on and put the Uber on, will you please?" I was like, "Yeah, sound."
Oh, bless.
Yeah, but yeah. So I got out today. I told my mother. My mother knew. My father knew. I told everyone else not to say anything. I said I don't need this getting out. Just don't say anything. I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. I'll be fine in a week. So I had these big goes up my nose, and my nose was like swollen up. So I was like, "Fuck, people are gonna see me like this." So I'm like, I'm gonna have to get these out. So tweezers up my nose. I was like, fucking pull them, and it like because they stuck them all the way up, and it was like going down the back of my throat. So I was fucking yanking. I'm like, and I just pulled them out, pulled them both out, and it like well, the blood clots had come out and I was hanging. But I thought no one can see me like this because someone will say something, you know what social media
Yeah,
is like, and
yeah.
it
One,
go
yeah,
off. So
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
I gotta do it. I phoned Tony. I said, "Look, Tony, I'm not gonna be up to spy." He said, "It's fine." He said, "What are you worrying for?" He said, "We've had hundreds of rounds." He said, "You've been sparring nearly every day since New Year's, so it's no need. We've had good rounds with like up in Matchroom. We've been to Adam Boost gym with Harlem Eubank. We've had loads of rounds in the gym with all the boys in the gym." He said, it's a couple of weeks. I normally stop 2 weeks before sparring, 2 weeks before, because I'm raring to go then come fight night. I like sparring and I like fighting. So Tony stops my sparring a couple of weeks beforehand. So I'm busting to fight. So
Yeah.
it was only like 2 weeks I missed out the sparring. So we just done like body sparring and more pads more than anything. But yeah, it is what it is. It's the fight game. I get punched in the face for a living, so these things happen. But
Well, Gav, it's certainly paid off. I spoke to Eddie Hearn post-fight, and
yeah,
he definitely confirmed what you guys had been saying throughout the week.
yeah,
Looks like the possibility now for yourself that your next fight being with Matchroom, and then I imagine as long as you keep winning, you stay on there. He told me a really, really lovely story actually, where I think after the loss to James Tennyson, I think it was your wife said to him, "All I want him to do is win that British title. You've done that, and now the world is
yeah.
at your feet." Just me saying that to you, does that sink in yet? It's mad, isn't it?
To be honest, with you, but I had an inkling, like in myself. I thought, do you know what? I just need to do it just for my own sanity. I needed to win the British title. Like, if I didn't do that, but I don't know what I would have done with my life. But doing it, I it's just give me that confidence to do more in the sport now.
What is
So
next for you, Gav?
um, I will fight anyone, but and do you know what? It's only someone said to me on the weekend, only elite fighters, elite lightweights in the world will beat me because I'm too tough. I throw too many punches. If you're not an elite level fighter like the likes of Joe Cordina, who just outboxed me, James Tennyson had that killer punch. The only other guy in the lightweight division who punches like that is Tank. Um, and the only other guy who really would outbox me is Devin Haney. Um, I'm not scared to fight anyone. I will fight anyone. I will travel. I would walk to America and fight anyone.
Is that sort of something that you keep in the back of your mind, that dream of fighting in America?
That's that. Do you know what? Right, Lee Selby. He's a really good friend of mine, and he's one of the real guys of boxing.
Yeah.
and he said to me, he said, you gotta try and make the most of the boxing because once it's gone, and you'll miss it so much. He said to me on Saturday, like, so I've dedicated my life to the sport. I'm back in the gym Wednesday. Tony said I can have Monday and Tuesday off, so I'm back in the gym Wednesday and just start taking over.
Well, I'm looking just now on BoxRec at the British lightweight rankings.
Yeah,
Galahad is the only, and Maxi Hughes the only other two people above you. Galahad, we've not heard a lot from in a while.
I don't think he's gonna box
Yeah,
again, but
yeah, yeah,
especially not
yeah.
at lightweight.
That's what yeah. But obviously Maxi Hughes now he's looks to be fighting Cambosos in Vegas. So I
Yeah,
suppose you probably do have to start looking at the world scene, don't you?
yeah, like or just like the European title,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or someone who's got a world ranking as um someone's got a decent enough world ranking so I can pinch the world ranking spot and get one of them big fights.
Gary Cully is someone who's with Matchroom. He's fighting in Dublin on the Katie Taylor Chantel Cameron bill. Could you see yourself fighting someone like him?
Yeah, but like I'm all wrong for Gary Kelly. They wouldn't want him fighting someone like me because he could punch me all night. I'm just gonna keep coming at him and probably like find a way to beat him because South I love a southpaw and he's probably looking at bigger fights. He's got that world ranking.
Yeah.
He's probably a level above me. So he's looking for them bigger fights and them bigger money fights. So I would like that fight, but he's probably looking for better fighters, so he gets his name and his world ranking a lot higher. Like so, it probably wouldn't happen.
I suppose for you, then you're sort of in that position where you've now got to get to the bottom of the world ranking level and then
Yeah,
moving yourself into those guys. Got to do a little bit, maybe international titles, etc.
yeah,
Start
yeah,
building yourself up.
yeah. Exactly like what Gary Cully did. He picked up a couple of international titles and got his world ranking. That's probably a route I need to go down now and try and get up the world rankings and try and find a big fight.
Well, Gavin, an absolute pleasure as always. Like I said to you, I really,
Thank you
really
very
was
much.
proud and happy to watch you on Saturday night. It's mad, really. I was sat with Jamie Cox today and we were speaking about the fight, and I think obviously down the
I
gym
like Jamie.
with you
He's
boys
a
then.
good man, Jamie. He's a good friend
Yeah,
of mine as well.
he
I love
watched
him to
that
bits.
fight
He's
and
a good guy.
he was buzzing for you. I just thought the way that sort of we all were back then and now you're sort of in the position that you're in and I'm doing my thing and he's obviously
Yeah, you were killing it as well, oh bro. Do you know what
my
I mean?
boy. Thank you, man.
Yeah, you were absolutely killing it, man. So are you gonna be on a Misfits card soon,
Oh,
probably?
mate, do you see my work today? What do you think? Or have you not
Yeah,
seen
it's
it?
pretty decent. Pretty decent. Just gotta keep on working hard.
That's it, mate. Only early days.
Yeah,
The early days.
yeah.
Gavin, look, a real pleasure, bro. Thank you very much. Just
Nice one for
final
having me on.
message. Thank you. No, I know how I said it on fight night as well. Arlo, your little lad, and your missus.
Yeah, yeah.
As much
He's
as
in
we
bed
joke,
and my missus is out watching
I
Ollie
know,
Mills.
I know, we joke the old chicken goujons in the oven, etc. But like your missus for one, I saw just on Saturday night how much it meant to you and her.
Yeah,
She's your rock and you're hers clearly.
100%,
And that little lad
100%.
that you've got is little he's lovely as well. So just a message for them.
Um, just thank you, really. Just thank you for believing in me and letting me follow my dream, really. I love you to bits.
Well said, Gavin. Top man, thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.